I am going to hit the same song because
it's your jam.
Ongoing song for the evening. But if you could just get over here fast. Not yet. What's up, YouTube?
What up, YouTube podcast folk followers on all the social media?
I'm SK.
And I'm Nate.
And we're the Dykeologists. And in our next episode, 11, we are going to continue the evening we started last video. So if you haven't checked that out, you cannot watch this because you have to watch it in
Turn
order.
it off. Go back.
Right. Okay. And, I mean, of course I can't, make sure that you do that, but that's what I would prefer. So in our episode 10, we wanted to start unpacking some of the ways people flirt, especially when they're kind of encumbered by the Butch Femme split, and they tried to pick me up unsuccessfully like 40 times, and then she kind of successfully picked me up, but who knows what it would have been like anyway. So she picked me up, I gave her my number, I'm still wearing this outfit because it really works for me. Actually it's the same day, but whatever. So now
it could be the same day, like we pick you up earlier and then this
I was at brunch drinking, uncontrollably. So now we have a second glass of wine, and we are on our way, or now, past several important dates and evenings to your house, and again, this is a very sex-positive YouTube channel. We are here for you if you're doing this the evening of.
The first date, right,
We're here for you if you're doing this the 10th date. It really, really doesn't, as long as you are willing and consenting and interested and happy to do whatever it is you're doing. But of course the nerves and the anxiety and the how do we do this and where does everything go, especially since lesbian sex remains a mystery to scientists worldwide, and really baffles the greatest minds of our generation regarding its intricacies and details. So we're here to, pull back the veil, right? Like expose our secrets to the world and our 39 YouTube subscribers and
big up
the maybe
39 folks,
5 SoundCloud followers. So that's
big
a
up
lot.
them too.
Yeah. In any case, after we finish through talking about flirting and how to approach someone and never to assume their gender or gender pronouns or sexual preference or even that they want to do things with you. They could still be at the bar hanging out, drinking, talking to you, not interested in sex. And I just think we live in a very sex-saturated queer community where it's all about the drinking and it's all about the fun, but not everyone's into that kind of stuff, right? Yeah. So I am into that kind of stuff.
Me too.
And this next segment is for folks who are interested in taking it one step further. And so, it starts to get trickier as you get into the house or, the outside or whatever it is you'd like to be doing this next stage, right? So we're gonna see how it goes because it's awkward. It's awkward.
Oh,
yeah.
Is
Isn't it awkward?
No.
I mean, it wasn't really awkward for us because I really knew that it was going to be amazing, and I held out for like a whole day torturing her because she wanted to kiss me and I wouldn't let her, but I was like...
She would let me kiss her for like months, okay? It's not true. Maybe like weeks. But the fact is, it felt like months. Yeah,
You wanted to kiss me for like a week. And that day in particular, I told you I loved you. And then you wanted to kiss me, but I wouldn't let you until we were in a perfect place that was not her ex's car.
Tortured me.
And then it was glorious, just like I said it would be, so she had nothing to worry about. Must be sweating like a pig under this light for like this long. But it's just, if you would like to just think of it as my excitement to be going home with her, then we'll be great. So Yeah. Oh, moans. Moaning is good. Moaning is a sign, a genuine sign that you're enjoying whatever it is you're doing. So I recommend you do that a lot. Not at like inopportune moments, like when you're talking about your difficult childhood, or you know, past surgeries. But you know, at opportune times. So I still think like people don't really know how to take it to the next step, right? Like. And while it may not be the sexiest thing to do, I think talking about it ahead of time, sort of talking about what it is that you both like, sets up like a good, you know, platform, like a good foundation for going forward and intensifying things. So like in texts, for example, or maybe as you're like getting to know each other over shrimp or something, you'd kind of, you know, and there was not a euphemism for anything like vagina or anything seafood.
I still like shrimp.
Just the party line. So, you know, part of flirting, I think, and I just really recommend you use flirting for this purpose, is to just kind of check each other's boundaries, right, and what you're comfortable with and whatever. So, like, we learned in our last episode that we both like confidence and being direct and taking what you want, right? But there are many ways the three things I just said could go very, very wrong very, very quickly. And taking what you want is actually a confusing concept, because when do you take it, and how do you take it, and how hard do you take it? And you know, if you constantly think about the process of having the other person be consenting and willing and whatever, this is going to come up in our conversations about sex and BDSM anyway. Like, how do you both establish boundaries, safety, and then also do something that's surprising and spontaneous? So like, you know, part of the sex appeal could be that you just are shockingly, you know, aggressive and like confident, right? And just really know what it is you're doing. Right? But you needed to have checked that kind of ahead of time. So it's like the script should be agreed upon by both or multiple partners, but then you want to act out the script later, not immediately, right, in line with that particular script. So when we're flirting, I'd be like, you know, I really like it when like someone really slaps me hard against the wall and stuff, and you know, and I don't know if you're into stuff like that.
Definitely.
But but like also what I'm wondering as I'm doing this is like, is it all talk, you know, because for a lot of people it is like your concept of knowing what to do and how to slam someone against the wall might really be superficial, or rather not very evolved or interesting or mature, right? Like someone will just kind of slam you against the wall, but like there has to be a storyline, right? There has to be like a mood or like some kind of stepwise breakdown of like what's gonna happen. And so that's why I'm always telling her this, that I want her like deepen the narrative, and this is really leading us into that BDSM video. We should do that for the third video tonight. And what I'm always telling her, because initially she was so much talk, and I wouldn't say no action, I'd say just not the kind of action that I wanted, and I had really complicated action in my head, right? Like I really wanted a narrative to develop that like has to do with power and control and play and all of these dynamics and back and forth and these alters and like all of that stuff. And she just thought, like, what did you think initially when you thought like you're aggressive? Like, what did you
I just thought like you wanted somebody in control, and like you, like I kind of had an idea that like you were into like rough play, but like
which is something you might note by my.
I don't know.
Yeah, there are no signs about that.
Have a thing.
I have a vibe. I have an air about me. You know, they always have.
No, and she always does. You do the eyes. That's what you do. I'm gonna tell you your secret.
Oh,
okay. No. Yeah. So like you do the eyes where you switch, and I know it's.
Are you talking about my alters? Like 3 videos ahead of schedule?
No, not necessarily alters, but just like I know maybe the authors, but
in the beginning, prior to you having this knowledge and prior to you having this wisdom, what did you think being aggressive and like sexually powerful meant?
Well, I thought it meant like, I mean, regular like butchy shit, right? Like what regular people think. Like
take a pause and academically define regular butchy shit for the moment. So let's unpack regular butchy shit.
I mean, I thought like,
Give
you know,
me three
being on top
things.
Right?
Being on top physically during a sex act.
Correct.
And
being the one mostly in control
of what?
Whatever
What does that mean?
Sex like act was happening.
So does that also mean like
being dominant?
Like being in charge of what comes next and how it unfolds and like what the order of operations is?
Yes and no.
What's the third characteristic of regular butchy shit?
Just making sure you're pleased.
So my pleasure being more or less or equally as important as yours.
Right.
Which one?
More.
Right. More important. And you know, I have heard that this is where we get the stereotype of folks that, you know, are there for you, but in a very misogynistic fashion, which is really like a paradox that is a real thing, where they'll like go down on you and get you off, but you can't touch them and can't get them off, and simultaneously while you're experiencing pleasure, it's still for them. And it's just this fascinating thing that I think we have to like really fight against, because that's not what people's pleasure should be about. Okay, are you checking your phone again? Because that is not sexy at all. Okay, where's our time?
Well, our time is at about 10 minutes.
Okay, well, you know, there's a lot of things you can do in 10 minutes.
Over there?
Yeah, what does that mean?
In the battery? In the red?
So, do you think it's not recording anymore?
No, it is recording.
Okay.
You'll know when it's not. It'll just turn off like it did that other time.
Yeah. Okay, let us hasten these things. So, regular butchy shit aside, what did you learn about what I actually wanted or needed, since I'm not about that regular butchy shit?
I learned a lot of shit.
That is part of what we call that emotional labor that's unpaid and that requires years of education. And I'm still not over how much, you know, that is on us. And I don't identify as femme, right? And I don't prescribe to those sort of splits, right? And I still had to do that because the regular butchy shit worked for you for many years with many people in an organized fashion, right? So why would you feel the need to learn anything else, right? So then being just sexually aggressive, which is what I would want, meant a lot more complicated stuff than just what she thought. And you thought it was just being on top, getting the person off, and just sort of, you know, being in charge.
Right.
And again, maybe we talked a little bit about this in a previous episode, but to me it also means the distinction between being in charge in life and being in charge in bed, which I think is confusing for a lot of people and gets collapsed. Okay, because I was not all right with her being in charge in life.
Lessons quickly learned.
And I needed her to be a lot more in charge in bed, but not in a superficial manner that she's learned before, that there's like these layers. Ooh, I'm so hot. I'm just gonna vent myself and get back to this wine, which I'm really drinking. It's just grape juice for the kids out there. Happy grape juice, and you know, go to bed. So, so then when you're talking and when you're flirting, it'd be good to get some of those intricacies out of the way, right? And to just kind of say like, yeah, that's what I like. You know, I'd be asking you, like, so what sort of things are you into? Like, I try to get deep into the other person, symbolically, for now.
So what kind of things am I into?
Yeah, what are you into?
Sexually.
Mm-hmm.
I'm into,
hardcore S&M.
How'd you know?
No, she wasn't into that. She wasn't into that. And what are some of the myths you had surrounding what BDSM is?
Some of the myths. I don't know exactly.
Well, you
what
didn't
I
identify
thought at
yourself
the
as
time.
part of the kink
I
community
didn't. I didn't.
or the BDSM community.
But I didn't really know what to think about it either. I just thought, it was a lot of maybe rough play and spanking and, I don't know, like props or...
What kind of props? What do the
like,
people think about us? What do the regular people think about us?
Like maybe like paddles and like rope and
as an academic, I like to double up my board as a paddle. You save money that way. Could use I like that all these things are here. You could use the hard drive.
Negative.
Maybe the little. This was gonna be my Drew.
Your drawing
drawing pad, exactly. That you can use. But English is my second language, so sometimes things come out that I don't intend for. Right. So to summarize, part of your flirting needs to be to understand each other's boundaries and consent before doing something rather spontaneous, because it is really sexy for something spontaneous to happen. Not shocking, but interesting. So even though you've talked through all of the things that each other wants or whatever, then like you wait a day or like an hour or something and you try to put that into action. And I think for the longest time you really were afraid of doing the wrong thing. Right. That would then mean you are not sexy or not in charge or not powerful anymore. And without doing the wrong thing, like, how are you going to improve or like deepen your sexual relationship in the first place? Well,
that's true, but like I really was very fearful that I would hurt you doing something.
Oh, but we're not talking about that just yet. We will save that for the next video because we gotta hurry it up right now.
All right.
Yeah, we'll get to the BDSM and kink portion of our sex life, or a generic couple's sex life later on. But for right now, while we're in your apartment, right? We got there. It's happening. They have this thing, the butch folks, that they do where they lick their lips, right? And it's like over for us folks interested. And she does that a lot. And I try to do it, and when I do it, it's not sexy at all, right? Because I don't know.
It's still sexy.
How to do that, like, naturally. I'm just like over there like eating my lipstick, which is just not healthy since the FDA doesn't regulate the poisonous chemicals, and that's not sexy either. So they do the licking of the lips, which really signals to the partner that they like licking other things, which is very important in a lesbian relationship. So, I think all of us should learn how to lick our lips just as a basic flirting technique, because I think it really, gets the brain moving in the right direction. Yeah, exactly. And it's distracting and effective. And anyway, so so we're gonna go, and maybe in our next video we're gonna talk more about what other things you could do besides kissing as you get into a more involved sexual relationship, and maybe some BDSM and some kink in a healthy, consensual, and safe way.
All right, folks.
You can give me a kiss on the cheek for right now. Thank you. Have a good night.
Later.